Alright, so this is the Kingroon KLP1. We can see a picture here of what it looks like. This is what FDM stands for, Fused Deposition Molding. The box is not too big, but it's very heavy at 42 pounds. And there are some handles on each side to carry it. Let's go ahead and open it up. So it is packed quite well. We can see there's hard corners. We got our manual booklet, quick disassembly guide. Got pretty thick foam. We got a couple things inside, just a box, and looks like a door or a couple doors to install. So to get the printer out, which is quite heavy, I think the best thing to do is just put it on its side and dump it out. Hard corners on all sides, completely encased in foam. Looks like what we can do is pull the bottom part off here. Here we can see the printer upside down. We do have 4 feet that it sits on. They're actually quite nice. It's like a metal with rubber inserts inside. So let's go ahead and flip it over right side up. And now we can take the upper portion off. So for the interior one, you want to lift it this way away from the head, and it comes out quite easily. So it's a little hard to tell, but on the top here we have an arrow and also an arrow here, and there's a little bolts underneath that we have to take out to cut the X and Y loose as it's bolted down so it doesn't move around during shipping. But before that, let's go ahead and see what's in this box. So we have quite a few things. We got a nozzle clean out needle, a little baggie of tools, some Allen wrenches, open-ended wrench, and actually an extra nozzle in there. It says 0.4 on it. A USB thumb drive, some hardware bolts that are marked what size they are, a metal spool holder that we have to install, a USB to USB Type-C cable, more hardware, looks like knobs, and also bolts, some grease to keep the rails and rods lubricated, an adapter. Kind of hard to see, but it says micro SD to eMMC adapter. So we got some cutters, pretty nice ones. A little sample of PLA white filament, a PTFE tubing, the power cord, and for the last thing, looks like we got a little stylus here for the touch screen, which is interesting. And that's everything that was in this box. So let's grab the correct Allen wrench to undo the little bolt that's keeping the Y from moving, which is right here, because we can't get to the X until we get the Y loose. And the bolt's literally right underneath the arrow. And that's what it looks like. So now we should be able to move it this way, sure enough. And you guys probably can't see, but there's another arrow right here. And so we need to take out this bolt now. And as simple as that, now our X can move. So let's take a closer look at the manual. So on the first page, we can see all the parameters on the bottom there, explains what every part of the printer is. And then everything that's included, and it goes straight to configuring it and kind of using the printer. So no instructions here, but I think it's on this assembly or disassembly guide card. Here it shows us to unlock the XYZ, which actually we forgot to unlock the Z bolts, which are down there. Behind the bed, there's also pointers. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and do that. There's 2 of these longer bolts. So that's this step here. The next part is installing the door, the top cover, and also the spool holder in the back. And that's gonna be these guys here. So the smaller, more square one obviously goes on the top, and we can see the hinges here, and the little bolts go into here. And it's like a cover. And then we have the door here also with some hinges, and that's gonna go here on the side. And you guys can see it's like a really darkened acrylic panel. We got something here, looks like it magnetically magnetizes. So the bag of bolts that has a lot of them, which are M3 6mm, is the ones for the hinges. I'm gonna grab the correct Allen wrench, open up the hinge so the door is open, and then start our little bolts on our door here. So don't tighten anything, just start them all first and then tighten them, because they might need to move around a bit to line up. Alright, so now that we have all of them in, we can snug them up. And don't do it too hard, as the hinges are plastic, so you don't want to over compress it. Just when it starts to get snug, that should be good enough. And so now we need to put the knob here on the front. Now we're going to grab one of the 2 knobs. And so for the knob, we're using the M4 6mm bolts. And so our bolt will go through the inside, and then on the outside will be our knob. And again, be careful not to over tighten this, just snug, and that's good enough. So now we should be able to close the door and it magnetizes. And it looks like everything lines up perfect here. So that's good. Now let's do the top. Same way. We'll peel it. And here actually on the front of it, on the bottom, we can see there's a magnetic strip here that magnetizes to the base. But yeah, same concept here. It's gonna line up and we're gonna put our little bolts through the hinges into the frame. Snug them up and we're good. Grab our other knob, the little M4 bolt, and there's a hole here. The bolt will go through and then the knob on top. And again, guys, it doesn't need to be too tight, just slight tightness, but yeah, that's how that opens. And it's nice, it's magnetic, so it's not going to, you know, pop open or anything. So that's well thought through. And here also, everything is looking really good. And so the only thing left is our spool holder, which we'll also use 2 little M3 bolts, the ones we used for the hinges. And that's gonna go in the back. You guys can see right here, literally lines up. So yeah, pretty simple here. Now we can slide this out, and also we need to remove that shrink wrap inside. And there we go, and our assembly is officially complete.